Did you hear that Dave was?
Yes, I just heard it.
I know. I'll tell
Just a question.
That's just you see, I told him. So major 22.
Oh, did he say?
All right, is everybody ready? All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to call this meeting of Sandwich Council to order on June 22nd. We've got an interesting agenda tonight. We're going to start off with a presentation of an award from the BC Sustainable Energy Association. And then we're going to hear from delegations. And then we're going to go into regular council business. The council meeting is broken up into two halves, as is often the case. Where we have a council meeting followed by a committee of the whole meeting. If you're interested in speaking about one agenda item on the committee of the whole, which is 1516 Mount Douglas Cross Road, if you can wait till that portion of the meeting, that would be appreciated. At that time, we will adjourn the council meeting and move to that portion of the meeting, and then I will hand the chair over to Councillor German. We'll swap places. So with that, we're going to start with our award. And I'm going to call on a voice from our staff to help introduce this award.
Good evening. In 2014, Sandwich Council awarded BC Sustainable Energy Association a sustainability grant to expand their climate change showdown program in Sandwich. So I'd like to introduce Kelly Ward from the BC Sustainable Energy Association to explain the program a little bit and also the Wind School.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Mark. So the BC Sustainable Energy Association, this year I have the honor of presenting, thanks to Saanich, presenting the Showdown, Energy Showdown workshop to 34 different classes in the CRD in general, and it was 18 different classes here in Saanich. The program is a wonderful program in which I go in, I have a chance to interact with the kids, tell them a little bit about climate change, and then the focus is about what they can do for climate change, what climate change actions they can take. They take home a contest form, and with their families, they go through the contest form, and there's a series of actions, everything from turning out lights, taking shorter showers, to walking to school or biking places. So all those lovely sustainable energy actions that they can take. They bring the contest back to the school, and I then collect them and do a little thank you, and I also tell them about a positive future they can possibly be part of. I tell them about some of the different things that are happening. We were just even speaking right now of some of the great stories that are out there right now, wonderful things that are happening both here in Saanich, in the CRD, and across our wonderful province, and of course across the country and throughout the world. There's some amazing, amazing innovations, actions that are happening, and I share those with the students. I take those contest forms home and I record all that data, and our manager of our program, Renate, she goes through, records, finds the school that did the best job at filling out those contest forms. Each action is associated with certain greenhouse gas emission reductions, sorry. And the school that together, or the class that together reduces the most greenhouse gases, so they have the biggest impact, the largest impact in terms of climate change reduction, they get an award. So on Friday, I had the honor of going to Lansdowne Middle School with Madame Boulac's class, who won. And of course, all the students were thrilled because what they won, as far as they're concerned, was the pizza party. So we had a lovely pizza party from Oregano's Pizza, and they were thrilled, and there was music, and there was much joyous behavior. And of course, I did invite them to council, but somehow that pizza party seemed to have a little bit more pizzazz. Anyway, so I did present this award to the students and to the class, and they were thrilled. They were absolutely thrilled, and some of the students who actually did a super job at as many reductions as they possibly could in greenhouse gas emission reductions, they also got an award and a prize, something very similar, and they received a pass to the Royal Museum. So they were thrilled with that. So on behalf of Lansdowne Middle School, because I know they had another event tonight, that there was a lot of like, oh no, what do we do? Where do we go? What do I do? So unfortunately, I just wanted to show everybody that they did get this award and they were thrilled, and on their behalf, I wanted to send a thank you to all of you and to Saanich. Because of the support that we provided, we could do these workshops. The students can be engaged in figuring out how to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions, how to take positive climate action. So thank you, everybody, for your attention, and to know that great things are happening out there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let's move on to the next item. Under delegations, we have Watkins Way Waste Management and Agricultural Strategy and Common Cells Plan. Would the presenter please come up to the microphone?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ray Parks. Most of you know me. I live at 209 Shadow Ridge Place, Indian Royal, but I have a second home in 1860 Adenac in Saanich, so I do enjoy paying taxes in Saanich. I'm here tonight to talk to you about Watkins Way as a potential site for the wastewater treatment facility for the regional district. My ask is simple, and it is that you should put the site on the list of sites to be considered. So what I'm asking is that this site go forward along with all of the other sites that have some merit and be considered. Now, I've done this many, many times, not for wastewater treatment plants, but for jails. I cited 16 jails around the province, so I'm familiar with the process of knowing what it is that you want, and going out and having a look and seeing if you can find something that matches the needs with the wants and the availability and so on, and I believe we've done that. Again, the ask is please just put it on the list, let the experts explore the value of this property and the enormous benefits for Saanich. And I could explain all of that, but I brought with me a friend tonight, an engineer, that is much better versed, and I'd like to call upon Peter Ferguson to walk us through a presentation that will articulate the value of this site as a wastewater treatment facility location. Peter.
Thank you, everybody. Peter Ferguson, as Ray said, I'm the project team leader for this venture, and I'm an engineer. Business address is 3960 Quadra Street in Saanich. Everybody hear me okay there? Okay. We're calling this a common sense plan for a region, and we came up with that term because we can show to you that it is a triple bottom line approach. It is a single site solution. It eliminates the need for a dual pipeline corridor between separate facilities, and we're going to show you that it does optimize the use of the existing collection systems. It's a solution that takes advantage of not only the geography, but the topography that exists within the CRD. It's a responsible solution, and it is in compliance with all of the regulatory agencies, and they're all listed here. We've also introduced an agricultural component to address and support regional concerns such as food security for the region. It does serve the current and long-term needs of the Capital Regional District for waste management, food security, and you'll see that the site does offer the advantages of allowing for future expansion for population growth. You'll see here on this plan that it is centrally located, and when you look at just the boundary of the CRD, I can't say that it could be more centrally located than what we've chosen here. The facility would have all the different aspects of it on one site. And what I mean by that is the wastewater treatment facility, the biosolids treatment facility, and an agricultural facility. We would be able to utilize the existing gravity collection system to our advantage because of the siting and the geographic location of the plant. I'll show that to you in a little more detail. We would look at putting in new pump stations where they're currently being proposed, and that's at Clover Point, Macaulay Point, and looking at doing some modifications to the Craig Flower plant to direct flows to the wastewater treatment plant. The plant would be located to allow for the discharge of water during times of non-beneficial use, and we've shown that it would have to have a discharge located to be in compliance with the municipal wastewater regulation beyond the embade water limit, which I've shown on this slide. We can also intercept flows that would come from the western communities. And again, this is where I'm saying we take advantage of the geographic location because we have it in a very convenient location to pick these flows up and direct them to the facility. I talked about the topographic advantage. When you look at us being in an elevation of 20 meters above sea level, not getting real technical here, but just logic would say that anything higher than 20 meters could flow by gravity. Anything below 20 meters would need to be pumped, and I've shown that contour on the plan. This is rather simplistic, but it gives us an approach for economizing and optimizing the collection system. When we look at the current realities that exist with a wastewater treatment plant that is separate from the biosolids treatment plant, it doesn't allow use of the agricultural facility as a beneficiary use. It would require about 18.5 kilometers of dual pipeline corridor, and they would have to be operated in isolation of each other. We're showing that we can put it all on one site, and that's one of the key advantages. We would delete the need for the long corridor of pipeline that would have to exist between the wastewater facility and the biosolids treatment facility, and obviously cost savings that go along with that. By taking the pipeline out, you reduce the risk of rupture or leakage, and you don't need interim pumping stations, a further cost saving. So you can see that having it all on one site results in cost reduction. We're showing that we have capability for expansion, and we're calling this a 100-year plus plan. This shows you in a schematic the difference in the pipeline lengths that I've been describing to you. If you look at the red line and compare it to what we're saying is the green line, which is the Watkis proposal, we would have about 20 kilometers less of pipelines required, and that's force mains that I'm talking about, to get flows to the new sewage treatment plant. It's not limited in land area. We can increase the footprint to accommodate growth. This gives a good overview of what the site looks like. The area that I've blocked out for the wastewater and the biosolids treatment plant is more than enough area to handle the footprint that we would require for the ultimate size of the plant. We're also showing where greenhouses would be located directly beside the wastewater treatment plant, and you can see it's right across from Victoria General Hospital. I'm going to talk about that as an advantage in a couple of slides here. It has a natural tree buffer, and I'm saying that's an advantage because you don't need to have and make an architectural statement with what the plant looks like. I'm not saying it has to be an ugly building, but it can be more industrial in its approach, again, further cost saving to the project. We are looking at putting in a tertiary plant. Looking at a tertiary plant with reclaimed water. This would mean that you would be able to capture out of it waste heat, fuel pellets, methane gas. I talked about the reclaimed water. And this would be useful both on-site and off-site. We want to integrate a greenhouse operation to improve the current agricultural value of the property. We're in discussion with a proprietor who's interested in establishing a greenhouse operation here on Vancouver Island. So therefore, we're saying that the wastewater plant is actually a support facility for the greenhouse operation. Other benefactors I mentioned was the Victoria General Hospital, and they've come out in writing with their support and the advantages they see in having the use of the byproducts from a wastewater treatment plant literally at their doorstep. In addition, we would have reclaimed water, I mentioned. That would be the level of treatment that we would achieve with the plant. So it could be used for other areas such as golf courses or irrigation. One of the other important aspects of the location is that it's very close to the Trans-Canada Highway. That means that trucks which would service the site do not have to travel through built-up neighborhoods. BC Hydro is available. The capacity would need to be verified, but it is available near the site, as is potable water supply, which we would need for the operation of the facility. It's a 30-acre site. Owner is Mr. Alan Vanderkerkhoff of Victoria, and he's proposing to sell or lease 12 acres or more, if necessary, of the site for a long-term solution for wastewater treatment and biosolids treatment, and allow for the future and ultimate expansion. Agricultural facility would be in addition to the land I just mentioned. And Mr. Vanderkerkhoff is interested in many options, selling the property, leasing the property, constructing the facility, a P3 partnership, or any other business opportunity that would make sense. The Agricultural Land Commission has been mentioned to us. I wanted to just give you a couple of slides of information on that. These clauses that you see come right out of the Agricultural Land Commission's documents. And their purpose is to preserve agricultural land, to encourage farming on agricultural land in collaboration with other communities of interest. And the third one is to encourage local government and its agents to enable and accommodate farm use of our agricultural land and uses compatible with agriculture in their plans, bylaws, and policies. And I'll show you how each one of those are addressed in our site. We are looking at providing agricultural applications, capacity enhancement, climate change, and ecological mitigation study to address the issues and identifies ways to improve and enhance the agricultural capabilities of the property and the surrounding farm areas. Also to preserve agricultural land, the overall objective would be to preserve this land and address the community need of a site for a wastewater and biosolids treatment facility. The second point, to encourage farming with local government support, Watkisway site can achieve the allowable non-use farm use within the ALR for the wastewater treatment plant portion of the site and preserve the agricultural designation of the entire site. If we look at encouraging local governments to support this, when you look at the opportunities for heat and energy, water recovery, food production facilities, the use of the reclaimed water for irrigation, you can see that we do address this, and we address a vital aspect, which is food security on Lower Vancouver Island. There are precedents that do exist where wastewater treatment plants, in fact, are located on agricultural land on ALR, and these exist in Kelowna, Pender Island, Campbell River, Cowichan Valley Regional District. As we said earlier, I'm leading the project team. Ray Parks is representing the owner. And in summary, I just want to leave you with a few thoughts. That is that it is centrally located for the collection of wastewater and for biosolids geographic advantage. It represents an optimization and an opportunity for further optimization of the collection system. Again, the topographic advantage. We will be looking at a tertiary treatment plant, so recovery of methane gas, reclaimed water, heat waste capture, looking at this being beneficial for local agriculture and establishing the on-site greenhouse operation. This will support the regional concern for food security, and a single solution will allow the implementation of various technologies to address global warming and climate change issues. I mentioned the beneficiaries as Victoria General Hospital, local golf courses, and as Ray said, our ask tonight is allow us to go to the next level of evaluation and let this site stand on its own merit, and let us do a comprehensive costing analysis. It is a triple bottom line evaluation, and we want to demonstrate that and show that it is a rational solution based on social, economic, and environmental issues and opportunities. It is a common sense approach. It maximizes the use of the existing collection systems, a very large part of the solution, and the conveyance components, and the consolidation onto one site with the added benefit of an agricultural component at a single location. Ray is your contact. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Are there any questions from council? All right, seeing none, thank you very much, both of you. Let's see if our questions for item F on the agenda, Watkisway sewage treatment.
If it's okay, Mayor, I'd like to add one more point that we didn't put in the presentation, and that is there is a First Nations archaeological site in the neighborhood. It's on municipal land across Watkisway and some meters north. But it is there, and I have visited with the two local chiefs of the Songhees First Nation and the Esquimalt First Nation, and they've assured me it's not an issue for them. As Chief Ron Sam explained, the individual's been there over 1,300 years and is probably happy and is going to stay there. They would like a ceremony to mark that event. One hasn't taken place to date, but he's willing to put it in writing that, in fact, he likes this proposal and is in support. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Parks. All right, let's move on to the next item on the agenda, the adoption of minutes. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Mayor, this item is the Council and Committee of the Whole minutes of June 15th and the Special Council minutes of June 16th.
Move adoption.
Second.
We'll call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion's carried unanimously. Thank you. All right, we'll move on to the public input now. This is where I invite members of the public up to speak on items on the agenda, except in this case for the portion of the Committee of the Whole, which will hear 1516 Mount Dart Crossroad. It's for any other item on the agenda. Now is the opportunity to come up and speak to these items. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? Please come forward. If you can give us your name and address.
My name is
Comments to 5 minutes.
Anthony
Appreciate
Rose,
it.
5194 Beckton Road. I'd like to wish you all a good evening. 5 minutes, unfortunately, it doesn't give me very much time for niceties, so I'll get on to it. I'd like to address the annual report. The first half of the report is very colourful, but seems to have a lot of information missing. There are a few specifics relating to how much money was spent, or any explanations. The 2015 objectives are fatuous. 80% of them show no improvement whatsoever. Some are even a step back. Some were achieved in 2011. So you need to take a closer look at some of those numbers for the proposals. We need to see some tangible improvement and some more challenging targets for 2015. Here are just a few of the more obvious questions, and there are literally scores more. On page 14 shows the water usage at 330 litres a day, for example. This is double many major world cities. Wouldn't a 5% or 10% reduction be a good target? We actually achieved the 2015 target in 2011. Page 16 still shows 2014 targets. If you refer to page 22, brake and enters and vehicle collisions, we're back to 2011 again. Let's look at the targets we need to improve. 2014, listed on page 39, but it's not here. Page 26, no figures at all for 2014. We don't have a very vibrant economy. The amount invested is going down and down and down. Page 41 shows a very rapid decline in commercial investment. Again, no explanation and no voice of concern. Page 51, city sick days are up significantly. Again, there's no explanation or any action to be taken. Page 54, many of the budgeted targets were not met. There's no explanation given for that. The money was still spent, but none of the targets were met. On page 49, motor vehicle incidents, up from 50 to 74. Again, no explanation or no action to be taken. It'd be pleasing if we could see some economic objectives in the year-end report. A 5% reduction across the board, and how to achieve it in 2015, would be a reasonable expectation from all managers. Call it a 5% solution if you like. Start from the bottom, 5% fewer flowers in the bed, and work to the top with 5% fewer of the 360 employees on 100k or more. Or maybe we could manage with 28 fire captains and lieutenants instead of the 30 that we have. Shouldn't the role of council be to set these objectives and targets? Otherwise, we can just take the easy route and add another 5% to our taxes, as was done this year. This flies in the face of your election promises of restraint and fiscal responsibility. The second half of the report deals with the auditor's report. My hope is that each of you have gone through that in detail and have numerous questions. Once again, there are no specific explanation for changes, just generalities. Page 70. Why did the so-called protective services spend over $3.5 million more than was budgeted? No explanation. What were the other unspecified fiscal services? These were only a mere $500,000 over budget, but no details are given. Page 72. A huge change in annual surplus. Page 77. Debenture debt is up significantly, 20%. What does that mean? The debt's up 20%. Page 78, employee unfunded benefits, up significantly. Why are employee salaries and benefits going up exponentially? Well above inflation. And what are council proposing to do about that? Page 81, federal gas tax reserve transferred to revenue, 12.5 million. What does that mean? Where does that money come from? Page 83 shows assets, but there's no depreciation with age. If I have a car, it's worth nothing after 20 years. Where's that reflected? Every year the assets are the same. The 60-year-old sewers are not an asset. They're a liability. You can't claim money for those. Page 86, note 11. How much did our debt at the CRD increase? And how much are we in the red with that organisation? Is it